Parents, let's go ahead and get this started. If you're a parent, we're always teaching our kids to watch out for predators, but we don't really describe what a predator is. At the same time, the homeless population is growing so rapidly, and we walk right by those people every day. The drug addicts, the meth users, the heroin users, and we just walk by with our kids and try to hurry and get by and pretend not to see them. And that is the wrong thing to do. But I'm talking about this because a couple of things I teach the kids in my classes, in every class for my kids, is about stranger awareness and situational awareness. And parents, you need to talk to your kids about this also. Now, a lot of kids come to martial arts and they're very shy and very quiet. And we encourage them to scream and yell and be loud and draw attention to themselves and be the center of attention. But this kidnapping and sexual assault happened last week in Kahaluu, where a known, experienced mixed martial artist, local fighter by the name of Jai Trochet, drug a 9-year-old girl into the bathroom and raped her. And he used a martial arts technique, mixed martial arts technique, to choke her unconscious because she was screaming. It was the screaming that actually drew people's attention. Now, I'm pretty upset that there weren't anybody kicking that door in when he drugged this little girl off into the public restroom and locked the door, even though people could hear her screaming. But people did do something. At least they called 911. There were several calls of 911, and each caller stated that they could hear the little girl screaming. Why you didn't get a baseball bat and go take care of that guy, I don't know. It really upsets me that people think that, okay, I did 911, that's my job, and then they sit there and they go, I hope that little girl's okay. I hope that victim is okay. What would you do if it was your child? Would you want somebody to go over there and kick that door in and drag that guy off of her and possibly give him a couple of smacks in between? As a parent, absolutely you would. What kind of a man, a grown man, 28 years old, has an affinity for having sex with a child? And he admitted this already. I mean, he admitted in the initial investigation when the police questioned him. Yep, took her pants off. Yep, choked her unconscious. Yep, she was screaming. Yep, he touched her vaginal area. And the evidence says that he did penetrate her, even though he says he didn't. And penetration or not, he ripped her clothes off and was performing sexual acts on her and attempting to perform more. So whether or not he penetrated her is a moot point for me. It's child predators are one of the most grotesque things on the planet. And this guy, he had a history on his Twitter page of Arthur, you know, the little kids show that my daughter used to watch, Arthur and DW, when she was like 4 and 5 years old. He had hundreds of Arthur and DW memes and Pikachu memes, which are geared towards kids, and every single one of them had a sexual connotation to it, pornographic sexual connotation to it. So talk about a red flag that was already up for quite a while. It was up for quite a while and nobody saw it. Now, this guy has always been trouble, but he's not the only one. There are sexual predators everywhere. They're out there. They're out there everywhere. So I want you to teach your kids and talk to them about it. That one, if an adult tells them to be quiet, they need to scream. If an adult threatens them, they need to scream. They need to try to run away. This guy skateboarded right up to the girl and her friends while they were playing games outside in the park. He skateboarded right up to her. Let me say that again. He skateboarded right up to her. So the people in that area were familiar with this guy. They have seen him there frequently. It's also a high traffic area for drugs. But so he was obviously familiar enough with that area that he felt confident he could pull this off. And the girl was obviously comfortable enough to let him skateboard up to her, or frightened enough that she didn't want to move. So parents, you've got to tell your kids to scream. They've got to be loud. We actually tell the kids, and we practice this almost every single day at Smith Taekwondo, for the kids to scream, help me, this is not my dad. Somebody call 911, and scream that over and over and over. And you don't stop until you get help. So, you know, often we'll have kids come in and kids will be like, they'll just want to sit there and stare at you. And a lot of times, you know, they're quiet, or they're shy, or sometimes they're just, I don't want to do that. And they don't understand just how serious it is. The second thing we do is we teach the kids to go bananas. Now, kids are taught that adults are authority figures, and we can't take that away from them, but at the same time, we have to tell them that not every adult can be trusted. Sometimes adults that you know can't be trusted. So if the adult grabs the kid, they need to start screaming, help me, this is not my parent. Next thing they have to do is they have to understand that they can do whatever they need to protect themselves. They can go bananas. They can pick up anything and hit that adult and strike in order to protect themselves and get away, get to help. So, you know, if they poke the guy in the eye with an ink pen, that's fine. If they kick him in the nuts, that's fine. If they scratch him and bite him, that's fine. All the while screaming constantly for help. Help me, this is not my parent. Somebody call 911. And I can tell you this because one thing, and read this guy's case that just happened, the reason that he choked her unconscious is because she was screaming. Now, what that means is, and I've always said this, predators hate loud children. They hate kids who are going to fight back. They hate kids who are hyper. They want the child that's going to be paralyzed in fear, quiet and shy, and be submissive and do exactly what they tell them. So a predator hates 60 pounds of dynamite and a little package of 7 or 8 or a 9-year-old. That's not what they're looking for. They're looking for something that's an easy target, easy mark. They can get in there quick, do their damage, and get away. So parents, please train your kids. Talk to them just like we do every day. And take note of every time you see me put on that big red rubber suit, the Red Man suit, and I'm letting those kids kick me in the groin, punch me in the face, and encouraging them to scream as loud as they can. This is why we do it. This is why we do that drill specifically. So those kids will have a chance, a fighting chance, to get away from a predator. So put your kids into a reliable, notable, credible martial arts program, and don't think that because they took a class for 2 months or 3 months, they're good enough. Because we see kids, and I have kids in my own gym who have been there for years, and they won't talk. They'll just sit there and stare at you, and they'll just like, and you'll tell them scream, and they'll be like, help me, that's not my dad. And that's all they'll do. That's all they will do. So you need to understand that under stress and fear, when all that stuff kicks in, fight or flight is ingrained in all of us. But they need flight. They need to get out of there. And the only way is now,